Hello everybody, and welcome to another video where today I'm going to be talking about the final division in the NFL, my final prediction video for the NFC West for this upcoming 2021-2022 season. The preseason is officially underway with the first two games happening as of yesterday and the first NFC West game happening later today. I'm going to be getting this video out right before those games, so if you're going to watch this and you see the preseason game for the Cowboys and Cardinals, hopefully I'm correct with my predictions and it shows that, oh, he actually knows what he's talking about, or maybe I'm completely wrong and next thing you know, the team that's last in the division becomes first and the team that's first becomes last. I don't know, but I'm going to start with the first team, the Arizona Cardinals. The Arizona Cardinals had a pretty unfortunate season last year, finishing with an 8-8 record and finishing just out of the playoffs, almost making it in, although since they lost in week 17 to the Rams, they forego that wild card spot to the Rams, and it costed them with them again not making the playoffs. This team has a very young quarterback in Kyler Murray. Their receivers, who after they received DeAndre Hopkins, they have been very, very good. They have a well-rounded receiving core with DeAndre Hopkins, Andy Isabella, Christian Kirk. So this team is pretty well-rounded with the offense. They acquired James Conner from Pittsburgh and as their new running back. Their O-line is pretty average. There's nobody of note on that O-line, except that makes their O-line sort of good, because if you don't really have any big names, that means they're going to be very underrated, I think. And overall, their offense is pretty well-rounded, and it seems that this offense, as long as they get in the groove of what they did last year, they can definitely get back to where they were and improve on that 8-8 record and see if they can get, a 9-8 record, a 10-7 record, possibly 11-6 record, and move up the ranks in the division and see how they're going to be doing. This division is going to be very, very difficult, and a lot of the teams aren't going to be first in division, although they have really good records, because again, you can only have one team. But the Arizona Cardinals are going to be fourth in this division this year. I predict them to finish with an 8-9 record, as that is not it is not indicative of what the team does. It is more of their tough schedule with the NFC North, the AFC South, and the rest of their division. So this team has a very tough division, and it may be a couple more years or maybe even 1 year before this team shows up. They did acquire JJ Watt in the offseason, but this team with every day, including getting AJ Green, is making it seem more and more like a retirement home and less of a football team. And yes, you need veteran presence, but I think that you already have enough veteran presence, and unless JJ Watt goes back to 2015 or 2016, this team won't be very good, as people expect. And since they're in a tough division, it may be next year when they show that they can win games, and hopefully by then it'll prove them right. They'll be very good. They'll be in the playoffs. But until then, I'm not thinking that. Again, fourth in the division and an 8-9 record. The third team I want to talk about is the San Francisco 49ers. The 49ers finished last in the division last year and had plenty of injuries that really cost them a lot during the season. They had so many injuries throughout every single week that they just couldn't have a good roster and couldn't win games. This caused them to finish with a 6-10 record, and actually traded up with the Dolphins to get the third overall pick and select their new future QB, Trey Lance. Jimmy Garoppolo was not very good last year, battling with his own injuries as well, but Trey Lance is hopefully going to be that guy that's going to learn under him and maybe be very good next year. This San Francisco team is very well rounded with a good tight end, one of the best tight ends actually, George Kittle. Their receiving core, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, is very well rounded. They have an amazing running back in Raheem Mostert. Again, their quarterback was their main issue on that offense. Their O-line is amazing as they re-signed Trent Williams to this monster contract, but quarterback was their main issue, and Trey Lance was hopefully, or is hopefully, gonna go into that role, be the backup for Jimmy Garoppolo, and maybe get a starting job later in the season. Or maybe Jimmy Garoppolo somehow keeps the job, and next season is when Trey Lance shows up and is going to be the new quarterback for the team. Their defense is very, very good as well, with players like Nick Bosa, Fred Warner. This team isn't terrible. They've got pretty well-known names that played on their Super Bowl run 2 years ago. But unfortunately, with Richard Sherman dealing with a burglary domestic violence charge, which has sort of made the media go all negative on him and totally hate him, it's really unfortunate that he hasn't been able to be signed yet, and it seems that it may take a little bit for teams to actually sign him or try to, go out and go for him, because he's maybe a risk for them. I'm not sure. He's an amazing player who's still very, very good, and if he isn't battling injuries, he's one of the top cornerbacks in the league, in my opinion. That's been shown over the last few years, but I think that definitely he is a guy that can be a very, very good player, and unfortunately with the 49ers not taking him in, hopefully they can, bring him back, or maybe another team can at least get him and sign him for at least 1 year. I predict the San Francisco team to finish third in the division, as I don't believe that much in Jimmy Garoppolo or Trey Lance in their first year. Yes, Justin Herbert had that amazing season last year in his rookie year, but I don't think Trey Lance is going to do that. I think that Jimmy Garoppolo is going to take the starting job unless he has a punctured lung like Tyrod Taylor in week 1. I don't think that Trey Lance is going to play that much, and they're not going to be very good. That's going to be exactly the same as last year, except less injuries. So I predict them to finish with a 10-7 record. I think this division is going to be very, very good once again, and they're going to have a 10-7 record and finish third in the division. The second team I want to talk about is the Los Angeles Rams. The Los Angeles Rams had an amazing offseason, acquiring Matthew Stafford for Jared Goff from the Lions, and automatically improved their offense by 10 times. Matthew Stafford has been very, very amazing on the Lions, having several 5,000-yard seasons, having several 4,000-yard seasons in a Lions uniform, and being very, very consistent throughout his entire career. He finally gets a team that can be competitive and can hopefully actually win him a championship in the next 1 or 2 years. Even though he is getting near 30, already over 30 years old, he's still a player that is very, very good and can definitely help this Rams team be successful. This Rams team did lose players like Ebukam, and unfortunately their defense is still going to be very good. If you're a team in the division like my Seattle Seahawks, they're still going to be very, very good. They still got Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey. They still have a very, very well-rounded defense, and that defense is going to carry them. Yes, Matthew Stafford is a very, very good player, and I definitely think that he can take over what Jared Goff has, but hopefully that if Jared Goff can get them to the playoffs and make it in the divisional round, I think Matthew Stafford can get them to the championship level, to the Super Bowl, and possibly win a Super Bowl. This team, again, is well-rounded. They have no problems whatsoever that I have found, and even though they've got a tough schedule with the NFC North, they can beat them easily. The NFC West, they're one of the best teams in the division already by getting Matthew Stafford. And with the AFC South, they've got 2 teams in that division that are going to be very, very scary. That's the Titans and the Colts. But other than that, there's nobody else of note. I predict the Rams to finish first in the division with a record of 13-4. I think they're going to finish with a 13-4 record and be the first team in the division and one of the top teams in the league. People are saying that they're going to be the best team in the league. I don't think that. I think they're going to be one of the best. I don't think they're going to be the best, though. That's my opinion. That may be showing my bias to my Seattle Seahawks, but I just don't think like that. The final team I want to talk about is my Seattle Seahawks. You already know which position they're going to be. I'm not going to tell you which record until right at the end when I explain everything. This team had a very unfortunate end to their season last year, losing in the wild card after having an amazing 6-week start. Going insane with Russell Wilson, letting him cook, and unfortunately teams caught up to that strategy and were able to stop him in the last few weeks. And unfortunately with Russell Wilson, not any opinions being circulated to change his strategy up, they ignored him and he suffered in the last few weeks. It caused them to lose in the wild card to their division rival Rams, and another season that was going to the books as a playoff team but nowhere near Super Bowl team again. Russell Wilson has been sacked 395 times in his 9th season in his career and is definitely one of the most sacked players in NFL history, having no successful O-line over the last 9 years of his career. His team, unfortunately, especially his O-line, costed him, and it seems that he is a guy that, if he has a good O-line, can definitely do better, sort of like how Aaron Rodgers had a great O-line and can now, succeed. Even though it's a sort of last dance, it's still going to be very, very good because it's got a good O-line. DK Metcalf is one of the breakout receivers for the Seahawks. He had an amazing second year last year. Even his first year was very, very good, posting that record-breaking wildcard game where he's had over 200 yards of receiving yards, if not mistaken, or 180, I'm not sure, around that area. Tyler Lockett has been very, very good for the Seahawks as well, catching insane passes every week after week, one-handed grabs, toe drag grabs. This guy is very, very, very good and can definitely be that safety valve for Russell Wilson whenever he's scoring out of the pocket or he's running out of the pocket and has to throw quickly. Their defense is, again, one of their problems. Jamal Adams and Seahawks had a sort of stunlock with their contract negotiations as of yesterday, and they did offer him a contract that would make him the most paid safety in the NFL. Unfortunately, he did not accept that, and I think that the contract negotiations aren't getting anywhere, which is very, very unfortunate. But hopefully, they can keep him and, help that defense out, because unfortunately their defense wasn't very good. They lost players like Jerron Reed on that D-line and didn't replace him with anybody notable. Their linebacking core with Bobby Wagner and Jordan Brooks is still going to be average. Their cornerback situation, they did lose Shaquille Griffin to the Jacksonville Jaguars, and now their cornerbacks are Akil Witherspoon and not really anybody else, Pierre Desir. So there's really nobody else that's good. So hopefully they can improve on that somehow, and if they just play well, they can be good. But again, this is going to be a very, very difficult year with a very, very difficult team, and I think that the Seahawks are going to finish second in the division with a 12-5 record. You're probably saying, oh, that's biased on my team. I think that Russell Wilson is better than Trey Lance and Kyler Murray and Matthew Stafford. It's been proven. But Matthew Stafford has a better team. Arizona Cardinals has a similar team to the Seahawks. The 49ers have a terrible QB. So if there's no good QB for them, then that's going to be a problem as well. He can't throw. They're going to lose games. Russell Wilson can make do with anything, and he can be successful in any team. He has had one season where he didn't make the playoffs, and he had one season where he didn't have a winning record, and that was he was an 8-8 team. So I think that definitely for this team, he can do very, very good, and as long as the defense shows up and Jamal Adams, just plays amazing like he always has been, and Bobby Wagner shows up again, and as long as that O-line doesn't crush Russell Wilson and break both of his legs, because that's what they're going to do next season, let's be honest, with how bad they are. As long as they don't do that, they'll be fine. My NFC West standings are first in division, the LA Rams, finishing with a 13-4 record. Second is the Seattle Seahawks, finishing with a 12-5 record. Third is the San Francisco 49ers, finishing with a 10-7 record. And fourth is the Arizona Cardinals, finishing with an 8-9 record. And that is going to do it. Hopefully I didn't mess up what I just said, as I somehow already forgot what I just said. If I messed up a team, I'm sorry, but that is going to do it. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe if you want. I'm officially done with the prediction videos for this upcoming season. I am going to be talking about the preseason every week and every week in the regular season as they happen. So every weekday, it'll be around Tuesday or Monday that I'll make a video talking about what happened in that week, and hopefully it'll be fun. But yeah, there's really nothing else to say. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. That's about it. See ya.